Kia ora, everyone, and welcome back. It's Anthony Fong here, and tonight we have a very, very special guest. I'm privileged to have someone along who I've known for quite a few years now, and I thought it would be great to chat about all things health and fitness. This man I've known for a while, and he's been a great teacher, a lecturer, a mentor, a colleague in the health field. And he's done a lot of great things and very exciting things over the last, 20, 25 years or even longer. So I'd love to introduce to you all Glenn Turner. How are you, Glenn? All right?
I'm really good, thanks, Ant. Thank you.
Good to see you. Yeah. So really great to have you on this podcast. And the title of the podcast I'm going to put on this for you is three things: massage, the Olympics, and Chinese medicine. So that's a great, a lot of things that we could talk about, and I'm sure people will be really intrigued to know more about these areas. So first, just a little bit about your background. How'd you get into health and fitness, Glenn, and just a little bit background?
Well, I guess I came from a small town, Matamara, in the Wairarapa. Loved my sport. Had my eyes on joining the army as an officer as a youngster. Unfortunately, at 20 years old, had quite a significant injury, a spinal injury in rugby, and that put me out of sport for quite a while, and unfortunately, it blew my army dream as well. And so, I guess from that point on, I was looking for answers for my back pain and my dysfunction. So I was actually a qualified electrician and linesman, and I went to London as one, but always looking for answers for my back problems. Never got anything conclusive until basically when I came back to New Zealand and looked a little bit further. But along that journey, I trained at the London School of Sports Massage, 92 to 93, and kind of fell into the industry and worked with a rugby league team called London Crusaders with a few Kiwis and a few Aussies, a few Englishmen. Learned a lot. Always along that journey looking to help myself as well and learn more about myself. And eventually came back to New Zealand in 1995.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's probably when I met you in about year 2000. I think I came to one of your courses, started from there, and I thought, wow, this guy's amazing. It blew me away. When you came back, was there quite a difference in massage therapy as in the UK and coming back to here and practicing here? Was it quite a different mindset?
It was quite difficult. That's quite difficult to answer because I was fairly new to the massage industry, even though I'd learned a lot from 92 to 95 in London, and I worked for London Contemporary Dance Theatre and London Crusaders professional rugby league team. Now, this was a part-time job. So when I came back to New Zealand, I was pretty keen to go down the health field, and I applied to do physiotherapy. But unfortunately, I never got an interview, even though I had my university entrance exams. So I thought, okay, so my next offer was with the Auckland, the New Zealand Warriors, and I jumped at that chance to come and join them. So that brought me to Auckland, and I set up my clinic in Queen Street. And basically it fell from there. It took me about a year to get busy, which was unusual for me because I'm used to being busy and used to working hard. So, but after a year, it was all go, and things kind of cascaded from there on in. I left the Warriors in that first year and basically set up the clinic, and things took off with Com Games and Sports Academy.
Yeah, that's right. Talking about the sports side of things, it really just took off, didn't it? It was amazing to see. It was, I got to know you then, and you were getting prepared. Was it for the Manchester game?
Yeah, that's right. Yes, that's right. Interesting time because I was still learning my trade and learning how things worked. So I wasn't quite sure how someone worked for the Olympic Committee and helped New Zealand out.
Yeah.
And I'd worked a little bit for the All Blacks and obviously for the Warriors and a few sports teams, and I was learning more as I went along with my clinical work. And then I started working for the Sports Academy, and I saw the ad in the paper one day for health health team members for the Commonwealth Games, Manchester 2002. So I thought, oh, what the heck, I'm going to apply for this. I'd love to help out in a New Zealand capacity. So put my name in, got shortlisted, got interviewed, got the job, and then wow, all of a sudden, hey, I'm heading to Manchester, and fantastic. Loved it. Loved being around those individuals. Loved trying to help them. Being able to help them was a big buzz.
And then you went on from there. Was it Olympics next, wasn't it?
So yeah, so two yearly cycle in terms of Com Games and Olympics. So
yeah,
the next thing was like, right, I really enjoyed this. Let's put my name down. And they asked me to put my name down for the Olympics. So I thought, right, sure, I'm putting my name in the hat, without knowing how many people they're taking for the health team. Again, had to go through the process of being shortlisted, being interviewed, and being selected. And this time, they wanted to take more massage therapists, and a few of the teams like swimming and shooting, I think, they had their own therapists, their own massage therapists. I was working for the main team in the Olympic Village, so I got to see anyone who wanted to come in. So
what was it like? Were you kind of, working pretty much full on anyone who came in from the New Zealand team and just working on them through, muscle massage therapy?
Yeah, you're right. So from the days of the Commonwealth Games, which is very, very busy, you got a lot of Kiwi athletes in the village, and it's basically one village. So everyone's in that village. Most athletes are in good nick, and they want to get ready to go. They want to get ready for their sport, so they're going to come and get a sports massage. So we were busy. We were busy from 8 a.m. till about 8 p.m. So that's pretty demanding work. We had breakfast, we had an hour for lunch, an hour for dinner. And I just followed the lead of one of the older therapists, Bruce, and he was amazing for, I think, a 60-year-old then. He was a real trooper. I worked alongside physios, chiropractor, doctors, and it was a great team environment. And it was something I wanted to stay working with, hence me putting my name forward for the Olympics.
Yeah. So, and a big difference between did you go to Beijing? Was that right?
No, so it was Manchester 2002 and then Athens 2004.
Okay.
So yes, a huge difference because less athletes going to the Olympics from New Zealand, but a big budget. And so I was the only. There was supposed to be 2 massage therapists, but it ended up being me in the main area with a few physios, a chiropractor, and doctors. And so, to be honest, I wasn't run off my feet like I am at Commonwealth Games. So I was really quite spoiled. I got to work on a few athletes when they had time in the Olympic Village, and we were there for 6 weeks. So we had time to set up the clinic and get it ready for the athletes arriving. So I would be on duty basically all day, but sometimes I would get an invite and I never turned it down. So Dave Curry was the chef de mission. So if he poked his head in the health room and said, "Are you busy?" I said, "No, I haven't got anything until 2 o'clock. Right, let's go to the rowing." So off we go to the rowing, and I'd watch the Eva Swindell's twins row for gold. And so just absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah, that would have been really amazing, doing that type of thing. And quite different from your practice, although your practice is busy, but pretty intense from 8 till 8, a 12-hour block.
Yes, you're right. Clinical work would be what normally, maybe in the city, 7 or 8 in the morning till 5 at night, maybe a little bit after hours. I did a little bit of work with Team New Zealand in the early days, so I'd have to wait for them to come off the water. So your clinical work would be busy during the day, but nothing like games time, nothing like Commonwealth Games time.
Yeah. So it must have been just a joy and a privilege, but sounds like you earned your meal there.
Yeah, you're right. But the overall feeling was that if you could help an athlete in any sense, in terms of them feel better, to feel more relaxed, maybe to help with an injury, to make them feel better to compete at their top, it was such a great feeling. And then maybe to go and watch them compete as well. Yeah. And maybe win a medal, maybe win a silver, maybe win a bronze, maybe do a PB. It was just amazing. And for them to come back and say, "Hey, I got this medal, you've helped a little bit," that's cool. That's so cool.
Wow. Any one special moment in the Commonwealth Olympics that really stuck out for you, Glenn?
Yeah, it's a bit tough, isn't it?
Yeah, there's many. Yeah.
Funny enough, I worked with Bevan Doherty in the lead up to the Olympics 2004. I had a little bit of time with Hamish.
Yeah.
And they were rooming with me in a
Really?
room
That's
in
famous
the
Carter,
Olympic
isn't it? Yeah,
Village.
the
And
triathlon.
man, after them winning gold and silver, and I didn't get to go and watch it because I was working, so I
Yeah.
got to watch it on TV at the Olympic Village. But
Yes.
it was just everyone's on a high and a huge high after something like that.
Oh, it must be just great morale, just the whole, and that feeling of, little old New Zealand, we always punch above our weight, and they just do so well, and everyone helps, which is, I think, that Kiwi attitude, which always goes a long way.
Oh, probably just one other thing's just poked into my memory banks.
Yeah.
I didn't work a lot with Valerie Adams, maybe a little bit. But it was her first Olympic Games in Athens, and she was throwing qualifying rounds at the old Olympia, and we're talking the old Crumbles, the crumbly
Wow.
Olympia Stadium, not a flash stadium,
Yeah.
which was an hour or so out of the Olympic Village, and so we got to go out there with probably 10 or 12 of us, a few athletes, a few from the health, and a few from the committee. So here I am sitting on a grassy bank. We'd got there pretty early. It's midday. It's really hot. So we all sat down together, and slowly the theatre, the Olympic theatre, the amphitheatre filled up, and you've got lots of people sitting around you, and mainly Greek people have come to watch. And so Valerie comes in to be recognised and come in with all the athletes on parade. And I've got a few of the Maori boys with me, Maori attaches that are with the health committee, and they taught us how to do the haka. I mean, I'd learnt when I was young, but they'd taught us to do it again.
Yeah.
And they said, hey, this is Valerie's first time into this arena. It's her first Olympics. We've got to get up and do a haka for her. So, and I'd actually just finished in the army. I'd just finished my officer training in the New Zealand infantry. So I was pretty fit and strong, and I actually had quite a loud voice. And so up we got for a haka, and these Greek people were behind us, in front of us, but we're talking only a metre away from us.
Wow.
And we let it rip. And I never forget the looks on their faces when we'd finished, and they were just blown away. And I know some of the media reported that the haka was a bit overdone and all that through some of the games, but man, it's just stunning when you're there.
Yeah, it's that emotion, isn't it, of the moment, isn't it? You can't beat that,
Yep.
It's amazing.
And she looked up. She knew straight away.
Wow.
Yeah. She knew we were there.
And to be in Athens in that place, of such history, yeah, it's been mind-blowing.
Yeah, very special.
I'm sure we could talk hours about the Olympics and Commonwealth Games, Glenn. It was pretty awesome and just an amazing, kind of thing to do. But after that, we came back and you're successful in your clinic, but you moved on to traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture now. What got you onto that, Glenn?
Yeah, interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably quite a minor thing. I mean, in those early days of my clinical work in the city, when I was started to work quite a lot.
Yeah.
Excuse me, in some busy days. I started getting some RSI in my forearm. So I was working on some big boys. I was working on the grinders for Team New Zealand. So
Yeah.
a lot of chest work, a lot of forearm work for them, and it's quite repetitive. And so you're trying to divvy up the workloads on your left and right hand and how you're working and your forearm, but you can't get away from using your thumb and using your forearm. So I had a bit of RSI, and I thought, okay, so I'll get a bit of physio. I'll do a bit of work myself. It just wasn't going away. And I was in Queen Street at that time in the Dingwall building, and I think I was on level 6. And there was a Chinese therapist, acupuncturist, on level 7 or 8. And I thought, bugger it, I'll go up and see him. I don't know if he can help. Let's have a go. He goes, Glenn, what's wrong? I said, I've got pain in my forearm. It's not going away. And he stuck 3, I'd say, little needles in my forearm, wrist and hand.
Yeah. And
that was it. I think I was in the reception area. He didn't do a huge analysis or anything else. And I was blown away, because within, let's say, 2 to 3 to 5 minutes, my arm felt all warm and tingly, and like in a good way.
Yeah.
And then after he took them out, it was basically one treatment. I was fixed. And now that was hard for me to comprehend.
Yeah.
How did he do that? And I said to him, how did you do that? And he said, well, it's hard for me to explain unless you know about Chinese medicine. And so I said to him, well, I want to learn straight away. I want to learn. He goes, well, you need to go to Sydney or Australia. We don't have a degree program here yet. So they had 2 colleges in Auckland, and they were in a diploma. So I chatted with both, and they were both heading through NZQA 2 degree level. And so I said, right, well, I want to learn. I want to learn it, and let me know when you're getting close to degree level. So I think it was 2009, I jumped on the diploma program with a promise that 2010 they will head to the degree, and it happened. So all our class jumped in onto the degree program, and we finished with a Bachelor of Health Science, majoring in acupuncture. But that first year and a half of learning Chinese medicine alongside Western medicine, the Chinese medicine is quite old-fashioned in the way it's talked about and way they speak about the body. So I really had to change my way of thinking and how to accept it. But once I started in that second year of doing my clinical work and seeing things work, it was like, okay, this works. I'm sold. I'll still do a bit of massage work. I'll still do a deep tissue work. I'll still do some PNF stretching. I'll still do some facial release. I'll still do some muscle assessments.
Yeah.
But in my clinic today, I had a new patient. I explained what I did. I explained it was a mix of Chinese medicine and Western medicine theory, and I combine it. I still combine it today.
So I was going to ask you, yeah. So now you've done the course and you've done it for a while, and you're doing really well with that with your clients. Your thoughts are mainly more Eastern rather than Western, or you kind of combine them now, don't you? You do a good combination that works for you and your clients.
I think it also depends on the patient, and
yeah.
So I can get a patient in, and they've come in and go, oh, Glenn, I'm not right. I'm not 100%. I can't explain why.
Yeah.
And then I'm going directly down that Chinese medicine route. I'm taking pulse. I'm asking 10 questions about their health. How do they sleep? How do they eat? How do they feel? And I'm getting a feel for them. So is their pulse weak and deep? Are they really tired? So I'm going to do my needles to wind them up and energize them. I'm getting that I have to get that yin and yang balance in the body. If someone's coming in with a shoulder injury and they've torn their rotator cuff and they're perfectly healthy, hey, I'm probably just heading down the needle therapy for blood flow and for injury repair and a little bit of massage. So everyone that walks in the door, I've got to just take on board what they're saying to me. It depends on the person walking in the door.
And you're right, because you get people come through who you ask them, we might try some needle things, and some people are very, very, they're just not into it, and they don't like needles or whatever. It's
you're right. I've had people come in and I've won them over. I've had
that's the skill.
I've had patients come in,
and
even though I think I've got a result for them, they can't accept it. And they're not that many, but there's the odd one that just can't accept that sticking a needle in your arm or neck can help my problem. They're just blown away. Yeah, their thinking is not onto that. And sometimes you can't cater for everyone.
No,
you give them your best, but that's sometimes not enough. But the majority are happy. I'll get a result, whether it's a minor result, whether it's a major result, whether it's one treatment or whether it's 10 treatments to sort them out. Yeah, I'll normally get a result.
And that's a fascination of, I think, watching you and others that are doing the Chinese theory and acupuncture in a Western country. It's quite really good to see that people are adapting and understanding that there are different ways of doing things and mixing together. As you say, massage, health, or whatever. It's a great thing to have. We've got options out there. It's great.
I've had young Chinese students walk into the clinic and say, "Oh, Glenn, I've got a sore neck, or I'm not sleeping well, or I'm stressed." And I'll say, "Have you had acupuncture before?" And they'll say, "No." And they'll say, "My mum and dad are going to laugh at me from getting acupuncture from a Kiwi in New Zealand for the first time."
Oh, that's all good. Yeah. Um, any simple tips for our viewers up there just to look after their health and stress? It's a very simple tip. Anything you think of?
I think the basic Chinese medicine principles are set around the 24-hour clock, and
Yeah.
that terms of eating and sleeping. If you can eat well and sleep well, heck, that's probably 90-95% of your health done right there.
Right.
And the Chinese have a 2-hour organ rejuvenation through that 24-hour clock. So basically, you can eat between 7 and 9, maybe drink some tea between that and lunchtime. Lunch is 12 to 2. Warm food's better than cold food for the Chinese therapy. Dinner times 6 to 8. Nothing after 8. Food and water.
Oh, nice tips there. Yeah.
Yeah, so good nourishing food. That's why you'll see them eating in Chinese therapy. They're eating a lot of soups, meat soups, vegetarian soups, warming, hearty soups. Yeah, they don't really like cold food, but hey, that goes a little bit against the Western thinking. They don't really like something like ice cream
No.
because they believe the stomach is a warm place, and for it to regain to give its full benefits, the food needs to be warm and cooked.
Yeah, we saw that in China. Just everyone in China in summer having warm water, which is quite
Yes.
strange for Kiwis. Yeah, that type
Yeah.
of
So yeah,
very
now during the day I still have my coffees in the morning. So mornings are yang time, so it's fine for coffee.
yeah.
But after that, I'll be drinking my herbal tea. But like a tasty herbal tea, it might be ginger, lemon, and something else. So it's
Yeah.
not necessarily a total green tea, but it's something nice to get through the day rather than cold water.
Yeah. Nice tips about sleep and nutrition. Yeah. Hey, tell
Sleep,
us.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Karen.
So sleep, the Chinese theory dictates you should be asleep by 11. And
Right.
it's important for your yin. Yin is fluid and blood to be replaced at night time. So if you're asleep by 11, which is important, then you're doing the best thing and trying to get to sleep through the night.
Well, probably a lot of Kiwis need to think about that.
Yeah.
In the Western world, even. Hey,
Yeah, well, recovery is really important, isn't it? And sleep's your recovery.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I noticed that too when we have a good sleep. I know you're a busy man. You've got a few things on. Just a couple of quick questions before we go. You got a new passion in golf. You told me about recently. What's been happening
It's
with
funny,
that?
isn't it? Like
Yeah.
I never wanted to play golf. My auntie was very good at golf. She took me to the golf course in Martinborough in the Wairarapa at
Yeah.
about 9 years old, and I said, "Don't be stupid. This is a stupid game." And so I've never started until when, heck, I was probably 50 years old,
Yeah,
and
I
so I
remember you
got
telling me I'm playing golf. I said, what?
my first lesson at 50 because my friends were playing,
Yeah.
and then my first lesson, I'm hooked. That's it.
Nice. Yeah. Um, and you're involved in the golf business in some way,
Oh
or
yeah, okay.
yeah,
So
tell us about that.
COVID, right? Can't
Yeah.
work. First time in my life, I cannot work. I've worked since I was 7 years old,
Yeah.
and I was earning money since I was 7 years old, and I like that. I like to work. I like to earn money. Here's the first time ever I've been told I can't work,
Yeah. Strange,
and
eh?
so that doesn't fit very well with me. And so, being a golf nut, I'm more other than me doing my exercise and cooking and what else you can do, a little bit of golf practice in the backyard during COVID. You're on the internet, you're looking at golf stuff, you're looking at golf videos. And I saw an advert for a thing called a ripstick, and I thought, what the heck is this thing under
Yeah.
golf? And so it was a Professor Luke Benoit from America, and he'd designed a golf speed training tool called Ripstick. And I looked at it and I thought, hey, it's pretty cool. I've never done speed training for golf to make you swing faster and hit it further. So I contacted him pretty quickly and I said, hey, I like your Ripstick. And it must have been quite new, I think. And I said, I'd like to sell it. And he goes, sure, you can. And I went, oh, crap. So that meant a new website. That meant marketing. That meant importing. That meant learning about shipping and everything else. So it's been a year and a half now. And I don't know, we've sold probably 350 plus units and
Yep.
the Kiwis love it. I've had no returns.
That's great.
And I'm slowly branching out into Australia right now because I've got a better postage deal. So I'm starting to hit the Australian market. And Sure, it's a great aside. It doesn't make me a lot of money because I'd need to sell 1,000+ units to make a lot of money off it. It's quite, as you realise, with the inflation and getting things to New Zealand, it's really expensive to import things into New Zealand, and so this ripstick is quite expensive to bring in. But anyway, making a little bit of money on the side and still love my Chinese medicine. So yeah, it's interesting how things work out. It really is.
I know. I do recall over the years that you had that interest, and you've got that really great inquiring mind to get ahead of things, and you have been over the years. It's been incredible to watch that, and it's been a privilege to be along there and listen to you and watch you and all those things as well. A couple of quick questions before you finish. I know you got to go, Glenn, so sorry for holding you up there. I know
That's
you
right.
Favorite food? Some really quick fire ones.
Who I'm going now.
Yep.
In the last few years, I was lucky enough to do a golf tour to Thailand, and so I found out all about Thai food, the proper Thai food.
Nice.
So a Thai soup, and I mean not a thick Western soup, a thin broth with meat and vegetables with the right spices. Oh my God,
Sounds
beautiful!
Cool. Yeah,
I'm going that top of the list.
Yep. Favorite music?
So I brought up in the 80s.
I know
70s and 80s.
I know you, brother.
70s and 80s. So I'm going down. I'm going down the Earth, Wind and Fire track.
Oh, I'm with you there. Favorite movie? Last question. Favorite movie?
Oh, see, we didn't go into it, didn't I? Because I was a soldier for a little while, and I went through to be an officer in the New Zealand Infantry. So, let's go with the good old Gladiator.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah, Russell, eh? Yeah. Hey, as I said, it's a real privilege to talk to you, Glenn. It was always great catching up with you, and I'm sure I'll see you soon. Thanks for your time and your enlightenment into health and fitness. It's been a real pleasure, and we'll catch up soon.
Thank you very much for the invite. It's been really nice knowing you over the years as well. And
yeah, it's a pleasure. Okay. All right. Cheers, Glenn.
mate.
Okay. See you soon, eh?